What's going on, YouTube? Today we'll be doing Spooky Scary Saturday. Let's get into it. On to the next first video. So today we got a video from I don't know the name of the video, but the title is True Pizza Delivery Horror Stories Animated. Alright, bro. Let's play and see what's gonna happen.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I had ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, they ordered 4 large pies, so I figured it was a party and I would get a much bigger tip. Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying though. I pulled up to the given address. It was some old,
Renegade Gamer 71 says,
literally in the middle of a forest clearing.
Where, bro?
There were no cars parked anywhere or any lights on. I put my car in park and called my boss. I asked him to reread the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood, and he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4. I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard.
Can you talk about how ugly he looks? Nah, seriously. He's ugly. That's alright, bro. Look at this. Look at his jawline. Now let's just analyze his jawline for a second, okay? This jawline right here, that's crazy. That's crazy. Look like an Iron Man helmet, like a newer version Iron Man helmet.
4.
Seriously.
I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything. I was extremely disappointed, not because nobody answered the door, but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas. I knocked one more time out of desperation, and then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building. I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy. There was silence now. I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. All I noticed were their eyes. Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible, staring intently at me. I was disturbed enough by this and dropped the pizzas and ran back to my car. The shitty thing wouldn't start until turning the key for the 3rd time. I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road, but I felt the car rocking about, shaking and bumping. Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside. There was so much resistance that I couldn't even drive. The car came to a stop. I got out of the car to check what the hell was wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats. My tires had been slashed and had completely fallen off the rim. Not just the front though. All 4 tires were slashed. I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building. Instead of running,
who the frick slashed his tires, bro?
Locked the
That's
doors.
what I'm saying. What the frick?
I was so close to that building,
it was a
I
tree.
could practically see it from where I was, if it weren't for the trees blocking the view. I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be
Calling
best to stay in
911.
the car
Call
with the door
AAA
locked.
insurance.
She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived. My whole body was shaking. In all directions, there was nothing but dark, seemingly endless forest. I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this. The next part, though, is what utterly destroyed me. It still shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear. As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The same person I saw at that window. Eyes open wider than ever. I could see now that it was a woman, and I could ever so slightly see a smile begin to spread across her face. I opened my door and full-on sprinted into the woods, not caring how much noise I made. I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long, and I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand, as I waited and waited for what felt like hours, until I finally heard sirens in the distance.
Creepypasta.
I gathered up all the stamina I had left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life. They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the two cars drove over to the building, and the two officers began to search the building. They came back with nothing except for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires. The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found. And that still kills me to this day. I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
Just put yourself down at the spine. Just put yourself down at the...
That was crazy. That was crazy. On to the next video. Next video is classic. Next video we have is classic Tate. No, classic Tate W. Here we go. We have classic Tate W. Shoot. Alright. Here we go. Here's the next video. Classic Tate W. Let's go. What the freak? Oh wait, hold on.
Pork Floyd? Oh, yep, you're banned. Who said Snack Harlow? Get that guy out of here! Ace Venturo? Okay, banned. Mealtalica? Oh, bro!
Queso, bro. Queso, bro. Better.
Mom! Timmy, what's wrong?
Oh, God!
What's wrong, Timmy? What's wrong?
My phone! It's too heavy, Mom! It's too heavy!
Okay, sweetie, here, just hold on. I'll help you. Just hold on.
Phoenix, Arizona has sunken in on itself. Government officials have not released a statement as to why this could have happened, but billions of lives have been lost. My monitor just fell through the floor watching this guy? Okay, buddy, banned!
ただいま東京が何らかの現象により地球に飲み込まれたというニュースが入ってきました。科学者の方たちはもうすぐ日本全体が飲み込まれるだろうと言っています。
Ray, is that you? Oh my gosh, Ray.
too big. If you grow any more, you will implode the Earth and destroy humanity as we know it. Oh yeah. Okay. Banned.
Y'all called the military? Are you serious, bro? Come on, banned!
The density of this madness, it's reaching critical mass. If this continues, it will create a chain reaction resulting in a black hole. Not only humanity will perish, but our very galaxy as well.
I guess this year's gonna blow up now. Whatever, man. Banned! Banned!
It was our fault. We provoked him, and now we're all going to die.
No, sweetie, don't say that. Don't say that.
We did this, Mom. We did this.
Bro turned into a black hole? Nah, okay.
That wasn't even scary, bro. That wasn't even scary, bro. That was.
This video.
Yeah, that wasn't scary at all. That was hard to look at. Next video we have the classic Tate W. Let's get into it. This is made by Meat Canyon. Same video, same producers as the video we just watched. Here we go.
Gentlemen, we've had success with phase 1.
Look at this kid's head. Nah.
Expensive cars, money, classic Tate W, and most importantly, women. We do be getting them bitches though.
Classic Tate W, man. You're the best. Women.
But it's time now for phase 2 of our journey. And that, gentlemen, is self-love. Observe closely, gentlemen. Oh,
Yo, is this real? Full send it, Taint. Yeah, hell yeah. Full send it, brother.
Well, I gotta try this.
Good idea.
What the freak? God dang.
Oh, fuck. Let me get a smoke off your cigar.
Stuff like that can still a point, bro. What the fuck is this?
Oh, here, take that. Yeah, put that
Door's
in your
already
mouth,
open, by the way.
Oh, fuck. Oh, blow that smoke out. Oh, I will.
Andrew, your cigar tastes so good.
Oh, my fucking God, that tastes so sweet. But not
Door's
as
already
sweet as
alive,
you,
bro.
baby.
I don't think I have a mirror, eh? Oh, wait, yeah, here's one.
I'm a real G. I'm a real top
wait.
bloke, aren't I? Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
wait.
You are. Oh, you are.
Hey,
you
wait.
dirty fuck. Hold on, baby,
Wait.
hold on.
Did he just give birth?
What's going on, lads? What's the problem?
You gave birth. That's like a woman thing, right?
Giving birth is like a woman thing. Yo, this is sus.
Like, one of you guys are female or a woman or something, eh? I don't know, like, or something. Full send.
Guys, I'm not a female. If anything, He's the female! What are you talking about? You were the one calling me baby the whole time, which is classically a female move. Fine! Let's prove who's a man right now, then!
Fine! What's going on? Yeah, bro, this is crazy, man.
Who am I?
Did you see his chin? Nah. Look at his chin. I mean, that looked like that one superhero from Timmy Turner. Jeez, bro. It really does get to me. It really does.
Who am I? Bro, no! Oh. Bro!
Yo, who will lead us now?
Money. Money.
What did he say? What did you say, little baby?
Girls should wear leashes like the dogs they are. Yo, full send it. Yo.
Stupid bitches! W!
That was not fun. Scary at all. What the freak did I just watch? What did I just watch, bro? Alright, next video. Three really scary true Wednesday horror stories and my horror short party.
This happened to me years ago, but it still affects me to this day. It happened when I was working at Wendy's, going to college classes during the day and working there at night. I didn't mind the work at Wendy's. It was never very busy during my shifts. The restaurant closed down at the beginning of the night, so all I had to worry about were the drive-thru orders. Unless it was a Friday or Saturday
looking
night,
at half the time,
which was our
look-
busiest days, as expected.
What'd you say?
What are you looking at? You're just looking at the floor.
Oh, I was looking at my phone. My phone. I'm like, oh.
The late night only had 2 people working. One person to take the orders and someone like me to cook them. Naturally, this meant I knew all of my coworkers pretty well, as they were the only people to talk to during downtime. I was okay with all of them except this one guy named Dylan. This guy was a creepy-looking weirdo. He had wacky-looking hair like Rick. Take a shower. He didn't seem to care about hygiene either. He gave me the creeps every time I saw him. I knew my shift was going to be hell every time he was my coworker for the night. I would say that he was super into me, but it's really more like he was dying to get into the pants of every girl he saw. He came on to every single girl that he took orders from in the drive-thru. It was slightly amusing to see him get shut down 99% of the time, but it wasn't so funny knowing that I was next. He truly had no concept of boundaries or empathy, and he only saw women as objects. He asked me out 1,000,000 times, and I declined every single time. But the guy always thought there'd be a chance I'd reconsider, because he never stopped hitting on me. Things only got worse. The longer I worked at Wendy's, Dylan started getting more brazen, and started suggesting we have quickies at work. He would try to convince me to sleep with him multiple times a night, and each time he suggested a different spot, either the bathroom or the cooler or the kitchen. And a few times he tried to get me to do it right under the drive-thru window. I tried to be more stern and tell him that was never going to happen, but it was like I could never get it through his head that I didn't like him. I considered reporting him to the manager after every night I worked with him, but I never did. I was too scared of how he would react. The only thing worse than someone being creepy toward me was someone being mad at me. It went on like this for months, until one night, I had had enough.
Kid like purple
Dylan
guy
was
from Side
absolutely
Legs and
outrageous
Ready?
with his advances that night. He knew I was a timid person, and he was taking full advantage of it. He knew I hadn't told anyone about anything he did. At one point during the shift, he came up to the grill and tried to grab my hand while saying one of his usual pickup lines. I swatted his hand away and almost slapped him across the face with the spatula, but I held myself back and cussed him out.
My first is okay, right? You think he's weird? Are you blind or something? Why is he purple? No, seriously, why is he purple? That's red flag number 1. He's purple, King. His eyes are red.
Don't touch me. Just leave me alone. God, you're such a creep.
Wow, someone's a little spicy tonight. Spicy like the spicy chicken sandwich. But I bet you taste better, sweetheart. Dylan shrugged it off after seeing a customer come up to the intercom, so he went back to the window. A couple hours passed, and Dylan was oddly quiet. I started to think that I had finally done it. I had finally gotten Dylan off my back. Gone were the days of having to hide from him in the bathroom and dreading when there was no work to distract him. Later, past midnight, we had some downtime. I noticed I was low on some things that I would definitely need to get through the rest of my shift, so I went into the cooler to get some inventory. I was crouched down with my back to the door, looking for the right thing when I heard the door open and close again. I froze for a moment, as I was genuinely shitting bricks. My heart began racing instantly. I didn't want to turn around. I knew it had to be Dylan. I then slowly turned my head around, and saw Dylan standing over me, his face deranged like a psycho.
What are you doing here? You should get back to the window.
Chill out, baby. I've been waiting a long time for this, so I'll make it quick. He pinned me to the floor as I screamed for help.
Help! Somebody help me! Get him off me!
After a few moments of sheer horror, I managed to kick and scream and fight my way out of his grasp. I was able to hit him in a vulnerable spot and get away, bursting through the cooler door and running to the customers in line for help. They called the police and Dylan was later arrested. He kept saying it was a misunderstanding and that everything was consensual, but there were quite a few factors that made it obvious to the cops that he was lying. Mainly the fact that he had covered the camera in the cooler with a box, as well as a few other cameras in the building. He was clearly anticipating what he did to me, and was lucky enough that it didn't get as far as it could have. However, I still feel the scars from that horrifying night. The story was inspired by a horrific incident regarding a Wendy's employee who was arrested after a forcible altercation with a female coworker inside the fast food restaurant's cooler. The alleged incident occurred on a Sunday morning in Pompano Beach, Florida. A 25-year-old man named Tressel Huffman followed the woman into a cooler and proceeded to force himself on her as she tried to push him off. The incident only came to an end when the suspect failed to get it up. The female worker was then able to break free. She ran across the street and called the cops. After reviewing surveillance footage, authorities said that they witnessed Huffman place a box in front of the camera that faced the cooler. The manager of the location told detectives that all employees are aware that blocking cameras is strictly forbidden. According to the warrant, Huffman was inconsistent in his interview with the police and claimed the encounter was consensual. Huffman was later arrested and charged with the attack, along with kidnapping, false imprisonment, and battery. He was taken to jail and is being held without bond.
Nah, bro. The frick did I just watch? Next video we have is 3 true amusement park horror stories and here we go.
The time was roughly 5 p.m. in the afternoon. It was the month of August and I was on my way to the amusement park. The fair was only open for a short duration during the summertime, so I made sure to go as often as I could before the school year began. My parents were pretty lenient growing up. I didn't really have a curfew, so that gave me the flexibility of staying out as long as I wanted, despite only being a teenager. The distance from my condo to the fair was about a 10 to 15 minute walk, so commuting there was always a convenience compared to taking public transit like the hordes of people I saw entering the park. When I arrived at the entrance, I made sure to pay my fare and get a wristband that would enable me to go on rides for an unlimited amount of time. I remember seeing the usual stuff: roller coaster rides, food stands, a Ferris wheel, that kind of thing. To be honest, going to this specific fair could make anyone feel extremely claustrophobic, as the overbearing amount of people in the lineups for food, rides, or game attractions really made it difficult for anyone to get anywhere. I remember shoulder bumping at least several different guests before finally making it to the roller coaster ride I initially wanted to go on. The lineup for this particular ride was surprisingly not that long, so I immediately joined it behind this one girl standing in front of me. I politely tap the girl on the shoulder and ask, "Excuse me, have you been waiting in line for long?" The girl turns around and says,
"Not that long. You come here alone?"
Yeah, how about you?"
"Well, I guess I'm not alone anymore."
Yeah. I nervously chuckle as the girl says,
"I'm actually here with my boyfriend."
And then looks at me as if she was looking through me, not at me. "So, where is he?" She then says,
"I'm looking at him."
As the gates to the roller coaster ride began opening.
"To the next 10 guests, please receive each card for more than 10 people, please."
Guests from the lineup began rushing in and filling every card on a first-come, first-served basis while the girl says,
"What are you waiting for, babe? Let's go."
I began following behind her as we both proceeded to make our way inside one of the carts. I didn't see the harm in sitting next to her, as I honestly found her pretty charming.
"Everyone, please fasten your seatbelts. We're about to take off very shortly."
"Hey, I'm Rob. What's your name?"
"My name is Melissa, but you can call me Melly."
"Well, it's nice to meet you, Melly." The girl then leans over and kisses me on the cheek as I said, "Are you always this forward?" That's when the roller coaster abruptly accelerates. I began to hold on for dear life as the velocity of the ride felt like I was jetting on the highway at a rate of 200 miles an hour. As the roller coaster began zooming up and down in a ferocious manner, I could see Melissa staring directly at me through my peripheral vision. I casually glanced at her, only to realize she was giving me the same bizarre stare she gave me during our initial encounter. At first, I thought she was just thrilled at the notion that my face looked silly from the turbulence of the ride, but then I realized that she was staring at me with a gaunt smile. Like the movement from the ride didn't faze her in the slightest. I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. As we began approaching the tail end of the ride, I nonchalantly look around as if I was exploring the amusement park, but in reality, I was avoiding Melissa. The ride finally made its way back to the initial start point. I remember waiting for the operator's cue to unbuckle our seatbelts and safely get off the roller coaster. I made sure not to make eye contact with Melissa as the operator finally gave the green light for guests to exit the ride.
All guests, please exit on the side to the next guest. All guests, please exit on the side to the next guest.
That's when I got off and began speed walking while trying to find a fair game or another ride to go on. I then made my way into the huge Ferris wheel lineup, hoping to masquerade myself within the crowd. A small and soft hand began to firmly grasp onto the gaps in my fingers. I look across my shoulder and lo and behold, it was Melissa, holding hands with me as if we were in a relationship or something.
"Hey, it's me again."
Hey, getting a bit too comfy, aren't you?
"Yes, I'm very comfortable with my boyfriend, duh."
Yeah, sure. Melissa then hugs me and caresses her head against my shoulder. I honestly could have shoved her away, but decided to take the high road and go along with the whole facade. Time began running slow as we steadily began inching towards the entrance of the Ferris wheel. I couldn't help but think in my head, The hell is this girl's problem? Why is she holding onto my arm like that? Does she really think I'm her boyfriend? After about 30 minutes of awkward silence and
Look at the way she's gripping on this man's shoulder. Under that bicep. That is crazy.
continuous unwanted arm hugging, we finally make it in front of the ride and began making our way onto one of the passenger cars. Again, we both sit next to each other. Melissa then wraps her arm around mine. I was now convinced that she had built a relationship which was obviously a figment of her imagination. The wheel then began to rotate as Melissa leans her head on my shoulder and says,
Rob, can I tell you a secret?
Sure, Melly. Hey, can you please stop? I think you're moving a bit too fast here.
But it's your fault.
What the hell are you talking about?
I have an impulsive behavior disorder.
You're kidding me.
Every time someone calls me by my nickname, I develop an extreme compulsion, where I can't resist the urge to kiss them.
Melissa's eyes then wander towards the sky, as if she was embarrassed to disclose such personal information. But then, why did you introduce me to that name? That's when Melissa's phone begins to ring. She pulls it out and reveals a video call coming from her mother. She then answers the video call and says,
Hey, Mom.
Hello, my precious baby pumpkin. How's the amusement park treating you?
Mom, the view is quite amazing. Here, say hi to my boyfriend, Rob.
Ooh! Isn't he a handsome son of a gun?
At this point, I was extremely aggravated by Melissa's antics despite her having this so-called disorder. I didn't want to make the situation any more awkward than it already was, so I just went along with it and entertained the idea that we were a couple. Melissa's great.
You guys make for a perfect couple. So, you gonna propose or what? What are you waiting for, big guy? Pop the question!
Can we please stop this, Melissa? I then realized that the Ferris wheel had finally come to a halting stop.
Any guests on the ground level, please exit the Ferris wheel. Again, all guests on the ground level, please exit the Ferris wheel.
As the operator gave us the green light to abort the Ferris wheel, I used the opportunity to get the hell out of there and speed walk as far away from Melissa and her psychotic mother as possible.
Hey, where did my son-in-law go?
Rob, where are you going? I want to ride the Ferris wheel again so you can propose.
Leave me the hell alone or I'm calling the cops! I then turned around and glanced at the Ferris wheel from a distance. I could see Melissa still sitting in the passenger car as the Ferris wheel again began to operate. A feeling of relief flowed through my body. Getting away from that clingy psycho brought me immense satisfaction. I made direct eye contact with her from where I was standing at. What made this all the more disturbing was how emotional I saw her getting. I saw tears profusely run down her face. At this point, I could have bolted the scene and left the fair, but I honestly felt a little guilty. Knowing that I was the sole purpose of Melissa crying a storm on the Ferris wheel made me gravitate towards staying and possibly giving an explanation as opposed to splitting the scene. The Ferris wheel then abruptly stops as the ride finally came to an end. I saw Melissa at the very top passenger car as the guests below began to exit the ride. She then began shouting,
You're the worst boyfriend ever! I hate you! I wish I never met you!
Without thinking, I said, I'm not your boyfriend, Melly! That's when Melissa compulsively leans over the passenger car to kiss me. No.
Yo! Nah. You can look at yo. Nah. That is gross, dude.
I was in my bed sound asleep when I got awoken from the light shining through the gaps of my blinds. I got up and pulled the blinds open as I began basking in the view that the 20th floor from my condo had to offer. The view was magnificent. I could literally see the entire landscape of my city through my windows. Down by the glistening lake was a fair right next to it. Seeing the Ferris wheel and roller coasters from a distance boosted my serotonin levels from excited to exhilarated. My anticipation was at an all-time high. What better thing to do other than hit up my local amusement park on a Saturday morning, I thought to myself. My first instinct was to obviously invite my girlfriend to tag along, so I rang her number with my cell phone as I heard her soft, mellow tone say,
"Hey, babe."
Like she had just awoken herself. "Hey, what are you up to today?"
Nothing much, just studying. The usual. What's up?
Did you want to go to the amusement park later?
I can't.
He has his girlfriend saved as my team. My team. You know, I'm rattled.
I have an exam on Monday, babe. Did you forget about my summer classes?
Oh, yeah, that's right. No worries, I'll just give Simon a call.
Okay, make sure you take lots of pictures.
Will do. Good luck studying. I then call my friend Simon, and within a matter of seconds into the conversation, he was already up for the idea. I head to my washroom and began to do my basic
Why is she going like this?
hygiene practices, just before changing into some outdoor clothes to go outside. About an hour later, I caught an Uber and began making my way to the amusement park. I made sure to text my friend that I was on my way, as he replies back saying that he was already there. According to the Uber app, my arrival was going to take approximately 10 minutes or so. I wasn't going to keep my friend waiting for too long, as I could see the huge roller coaster rides and attractions appear closer the more we drove into the park's proximities. I felt like I was a kid all over again. All the nostalgic memories as a child began hitting me all at once, the more I reminisced while staring at my reflection in the passenger seat window. We finally arrive as I could see my friend Simon waiting by the entrance where the lines were. I got out of the Uber and began approaching his direction, as we both bought a wristband each, and then started heading inside where all the carnival games were. Throughout the duration of the day, I would say that we both approximately spent close to $400 in total on carnival games, only to come out empty-handed. Well, not exactly empty-handed. Simon was able to win a small plushie, but ended up giving it to some kid, as we were a little irritated from the amount of L's we were taking. The park was about to close in an hour or so, when I spotted an odd-looking machine from the corner of my eye. It looked like a clown animatronic inside of a wooden box. I then said to my friend, "Dude, look at that game over there. What the hell is that thing?" We both began approaching closer to the machine, as the words on the box were now legible enough to read. The game was called Psychic Clown. There was a bold print on the front of the box that read $1 per try. 2 slots indicated that the game accepted both coins or bills. I was a little intrigued by the game, until the old man standing by the hot dog stand said, "Hey, what are you kids doing? This game is out of order." We just wanted to try it out. Get away, kid. The game is cursed. I've seen too many stupid kids like you lose your lives. What are you talking about? You'll lose everything. You hear me? Don't say I didn't warn you, idiots. The man then walks away, as me and Simon immediately scrabble through our pockets, looking for any change that we could find. The behavior from that man left us curious, but at the same time intrigued about what he was heckling about. What the hell was his problem? I don't know. To be honest, I don't think I want to spend any more money today, dude. I already lost about $200. I have like $5 left. What do you think we should ask it? I don't know how this thing works, dude. Let's see if it even accepts the money. I then placed a $1 bill in the slot, as Simon impatiently presses the go button. As I looked up at the glass, I could see the clown open its eyes wide and say, "Ask me a yes or no question to uncover the truth, and then press the go button." Simon then jokingly asks, "Psychic Clown, is Dean ugly? And then follows up by pressing the go button. The clown then bizarrely starts to move back and forth while simultaneously laughing in a psychotic fashion, and then says the word.
Yes.
Okay. Very funny, dude. I then slipped another $1 in and rebuttal Simon's antics by saying, "Psychic clown, is Simon going to be a virgin till he's 40? The clown once more begins to move back and forth while the strange laugh echoes through the mouth of the animatronic, saying,
Yes.
Okay, dude. Enough with the jokes. Let's ask it more serious questions." I then take out another $1 and slip it into the slot while asking the clown, "Psychic clown, do I have a girlfriend?" Again, the clown begins to laugh and then says the word.
No.
Well, that's a bummer. The clown is wrong. Let me ask this question that I know it can't possibly get wrong. I then slipped another $1 in as Simon asks, "Psychic clown, is the color of my shirt white?" As the clown began to operate, I knew that if it answered this particular question wrong, then this was obviously just another lame gimmick that the fair used to finesse its customers. The clown then said the word.
No.
Yep, definitely not legit. Well, I do have one more $1 left. Dude, I'm gonna catch the bus. Screw this clown. Alright, dude, I'll meet you at the front. Simon then begins walking towards the entrance of the park, while I slip my last $1 in the slot and ask it, "Psychic clown, is the color of Simon's shirt red?" Again, the clown begins its psychotic laugh and then says the word.
Yes.
At this point, I was 100% convinced that this whole clown machine was a scam, and that the gentleman from the hot dog stand was trying to frighten us. I began to approach the entrance of the amusement
This video's
park, as the shutdown of the carnival games indicated that the fair was just about to wrap up. I then saw a large crowd that seemed to be rattled by some sort of commotion going on. It sounded like the majority of people were in a frantic state, as I could hear someone in the crowd yelling, "Help! Someone call the cops!" As I noisily approached the group of pedestrians, I could see my friend Simon laying face first in a puddle of blood. I then began to frantically perform CPR by pressing on his chest as the blood from his shirt began to seep onto my hands while yelling, "No! Simon, wake up! Simon, please don't die on me! Please, Simon!" As the ambulance rushes Simon to the hospital, I could virtually see no movement or any vital signs of human life. Simon was immediately pronounced dead at the scene, due to multiple stab wounds in his chest from an alleged assailant that fled the scene while supposedly trying to mug him at the bus stop of the fair. About a month after the tragedy of Simon, my girlfriend Maya breaks up with me, as she felt that being in a relationship was greatly affecting her work studies. I couldn't understand why my world began to suddenly crash on me. After long nights of heavy drinking, my parents became concerned with me and recommended that I see a virtual psychologist. Trying to cope with the loss of my friend and the end of my 3-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend was quite the bitter pill to swallow. As the summer was nearing the end, I decided to head to the amusement park once again, in hopes that the fair games or carnival rides would help provide some sort of temporary closure. I then saw an attractive girl standing by the cotton candy stand. I figured I'd shoot my shot, so I approached her and said, "Hey, do you like roller coasters?"
Yeah. Why you ask?
Because I can send you on a ride that you'll never forget.
Nice pickup line.
Can I have your number?
Sure, I guess.
I then reached into my pocket, only to see that I had forgotten my phone at home. I awkwardly grab a $1 bill from my wallet and embarrassingly ask the girl to write her number on it. The girl then takes the bill and begins writing her name and number, using some red lipstick she had gotten from her purse, as I held onto her cotton candy. She then hands back the bill and says,
"Nice meeting you."
"Nice meeting you too, Samantha." I began to walk further down the amusement park, and could see the same psychic clown machine from a distance. A trickle of
Don't go to it. Don't go to it, buddy boy. Go to it.
sweat began running down the side of my face, as I then realized that the machine might have had something to do with the death of my friend, or the end of my relationship. I then approached the machine and immediately placed a $1 bill in the slot, while asking the question, "Are you the reason my girlfriend broke up with me?" The clown then begins to laugh and do its unsettling movement, and then says the word, "Yes." After inserting another dollar in the bill slot, I asked, "Are you the reason my friend got stabbed?" The clown then responds with, "Yes." I then began to start seeing red, as a security guard approached me from behind, saying, "Kid, the park is closing now. Can you please proceed to the exit?" Sure. No problem. As the security guard began hassling other people at the park, I used the opportunity to jump over the counter of one of the vendor booths that was currently closed, and waited for at least 2 hours straight before the coast was clear. I then jumped out of the booth and went towards the direction of where the psychic clown was at, only to see the entire machine relocated on the opposite side from where it initially was. I began to start banging my fists against the glass while yelling, "I know you're alive! You were right beside the freaking hot dog stand! You wouldn't think I'd notice? I know damn well you were the reason my friend is dead, and why my girl and I are separated!" I unwittingly went into my pocket and grabbed the bill that had the written phone number from the girl that I had just met. I slipped it into the machine, only to have the bill eject into 2 pieces. I yelled from the top of my lungs, "Answer me! Answer me!" as the clown suddenly began to laugh, despite not accepting the money I had put into it. The clown then vigorously starts banging its head on the
What in the world?
glass, as if it was suffering from some sort of faulty error or malfunction. "I'm done playing games with you." I then went to go unplug the machine from the electricity outlet, only to see it had already been unplugged. "The game is cursed. I've seen too many stupid kids like you lose your lives." Psychic clown, do I have a girlfriend? No. Psychic clown, is the color of Simon's shirt red? Yes. You'll lose everything. You hear me?
Yo! No! Ew!
The Bush Guide.
Well, YouTube. That's enough for today. I'm gonna catch y'all YouTube.